Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a requested reading for Stray Kids. Someone told me in the comment sections that they are having a comeback. I think that it's in this month or by the end of this month. So I see a lot of comebacks in this August. So definitely a lot of Leo season energy, a moment to shine for all the groups included. So let's see what the cards they got. They got the card of the Queen of Wands, Six of Wands, Nine of Swords, Page of Swords, and the Strength card. So they start pretty powerful. The Queen of Wands, it's a card that not only talks about dominion in your craft, but it also talks about you being really in touch and being really aware of what you're worth. So probably they had been working a lot on themselves and their performance and their abilities, and they have been doing some inner work when it comes to recognizing their strengths and also being able to celebrate that this year they had been able to show a different side of themselves. I think that it also has to do with them winning kingdom. I think that for them was experience that actually made them feel more confident than actually what they were feeling when this year started. I think that, I don't know if I had done a general reading for them, but I think that when this year started, they were feeling a bit, I wouldn't say doubtful, but they were like waiting. I think that there are a lot of groups that they have their energy very stuck because they have to wait till the process of them having a comeback, and working on details. And it's like you never know when you are actually going to take action. So I think that they definitely are going to be ending this year with a lot of exposure, with a lot of work, with a lot of presentations, with a lot of, you're going to see a lot of content of them, a lot of different styles. Probably the style that they're going to go for is going to be much more mature and also much more I think that Stray Kids has like a very distinctive sound when it comes to impact. I think that their songs definitely have an element of energy. So I think that they are coming back with that, and of course they're bringing also like a much more mature sound, because the Queen of Wands also talks about you being able to reflect on your past actions and at the same time being able to work on your your weakest points where you feel like you can be lacking a bit. So I think that they did a great inner work in that sense. They evaluated a lot themselves. I think that them coming back with this energy, this fiery energy, is not something that that they were just like, okay, yes, we are great, we were doing great, everyone is celebrating. I think that they went through a lot of moments of feeling doubtful and feeling a bit insecure. So definitely this feels like a victory to be able to step into this new era of them and actually coming back stronger. I think that they feel confident enough to actually being like very much more dominating than they were before. Probably they feel much more stable. And then we have the Six of Wands, that it's victory. So I think that they are going to win a lot of awards, a lot of recognition, a lot of moments to celebrate their work. I think that the fans definitely play a huge role in them, in the way their work is being appreciated and it's also being promoted. I think that sometimes the fans do sometimes more make a better job of promoting their favorite artists more than the company themselves. But then in the middle of the way, we have the Car of Despair and the Page of Swords. So there's like a bittersweet feeling here. I think that they come from a place of feeling really confident and feeling really like they can make it, and to actually feeling a bit on despair, because the Nine of Swords talks about you feeling like you don't have, there's no way out of a certain situation, you feeling trapped. So probably since there's swords here, and you know that I always relate swords not only with communication but also with the internet, it can be about you know, like this news on the internet, you know, these things that have been said or things that have been posted online, and a lot of comments and a lot of opinions about this that actually made them feel a bit in despair, in the sense that they wish they could solve this, but I think that they feel a bit helpless. And I think that since source is communication, I think that it has to do with the fact that they would wish, maybe if the I don't want to get into this subject because it's very sensitive, and you know that when I'm a therapist, and I also am a tarot reader, so my job here is to be neutral. But I'm reading from their energy and from their point of view. So if we have the Nine of Swords here and the Page of Swords that is talking about action, and them actually feeling in despair because they cannot take the action that they wished that they could take. And this, I think that it has to do with communication. And I think that it has to do with releasing some kind of apology, or some kind of like a more formal kind of, like a more, not only formal, but more intimate kind of, I think there's a restriction here when it comes to them actually saying what they want to say. And I think that the despair comes from a place of, okay, I want to take responsibility for this, and I want to say what I want to say, but I'm not allowed to say it the way I want to express it, or the way I want to communicate it. Probably there are things that they wish they could be talking about, or they could be releasing in a state, or they could like have a moment to actually express themselves more. And actually there are people that are against this and are actually forbidding them to take action when it comes to, for example, talking about a certain subject and being open about it, or being more expressive about it. I think that this is why sometimes they feel really confident with their job and with their work, but there are a lot of restrictions when it comes to them feeling free to say what they want to say. And I think that this is not the first time that I see this, because I think that when I did a reading for Hyunjin after he was back in the group after his hiatus, I also sensed a lot of anger and a lot of resentment when it came to the way he felt about how the situation was managed, and about how he had a huge desire to speak up, to say what he wanted to say, to be heard. I think that it's not about saying the right things, or saying, like I said, releasing a statement. It's not about that. It's about them wanting to communicate in a more authentic way, and not having someone behind scenes being like, okay, you writing them down what they have to say or how they have to say things. And actually I think that this is not what bothers them, someone telling them like, okay, giving them like some kind of script. It's the fact that they are like controlled when it comes to what you don't have to say, you know, so they feel like they are not being themselves. So I think that this is where the desperation comes. For them, communication, especially with the fans and with everyone, is very important. I think that they are a group. I don't know much about Stray Kids. I only know their music, but I think that they use communication with fans a lot. And the fact that you have members that speak different languages is like you have like a broader opportunity. You know, you have much more opportunities to be able to speak up or to be able to say what you really think about a certain situation. And I think that when it comes to them actually being like, okay, I have to talk about this, I want to clear this up, and them being like told not to, I think that this is when they bring their confidence down. You know, it's like, okay, but I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to mess up. I just want to express myself. You know, I think that for them communication is very important, and for them to having these kind of restrictions, it makes them really frustrated. And I think that I said the same thing with what happened with Hyunjin. There was like a very like inner anger inside of him, you know, because he wanted to go out and tell everyone how he felt or what he thought about what they were going through, you know. And I think that maybe he did at one point, but it was scripted, or it wasn't scripted. It was like restricted. It was like, okay, we will take this paragraph here. This phrase doesn't belong here. No, don't say this. No, say this. You know, so it becomes not being what they really wanted to say in the first place. So I think that this definitely is going to make them feel a bit insecure, but at the same time, I think that it's going to teach them a huge lesson, that it's because here with the strengths card, it talks about how you cannot let anger control you. Like, yes, there are moments where the industry can be a bit shady and where things can get a bit confused in the way, and your image and your name is in the way, you know, and it's exposed. And of course that if I were them, I would be as frustrated as them. Because it's like they want to go out, you know, and be like, okay, I want to say what I think about a certain situation, and they don't have the permission. So this hits them with the reality that sometimes there are some protocols when it comes to this industry that, of course, that they are not clean, that they are not ethical sometimes, but that sometimes it's better to breathe a bit. Just breathe. Just don't have some like control of yourself, because you will have your moment, but this is not the moment. You know, I think that they definitely need to put that energy into something that can actually be more beneficial for them, or probably turn this frustration into this kind of motivation to keep working, and also to keep working on themselves, because I think that definitely this year has been very much about them facing themselves, each of them, not just each other, not facing each other, facing each other's potential, each other's dreams, each other's failures, each other's mistakes. I think that each one of these members definitely went through like some kind of purge, you know, like inner purge, where you are like, okay, I have to transform myself. This situation requires me to be a better version of myself, a new version of myself. I cannot continue to be the one that I used to be in the past. Now, this situation and the place that I'm in right now needs for me to be more dedicated into building a better image for myself, and at the same time of being much more professional than what I was. And I'm not saying that they weren't professional. I'm just saying that they need to like upgrade their potential a bit more, because they are in a point in their career where they have a lot of exposure and a lot of popularity. And this is the price of you being on the spotlight and of you being like considered one of the most popular groups. I think that this is like a wake-up call. You know, this is like, okay, if you want to enter this very prosperous and very important stage for you as a group, you need to be dedicated to this kind of maturing, and this kind of like, it's frustrating, but you need to watch your every move. You need to be mindful about what you say and what you do, because all eyes are on you. So you need to pay attention. You need to be aware. You need to work on your awareness. It's not just about looking good on stage or being talented. It's more about knowing how to handle the media, because I think that I have seen this when I read about, not only about idols, also about actors, is that there's this inner fear that it's very present, and that it talks about the feeling of your reputation being damaged, and the fact that the internet and other people's opinion, especially online, are very present. And there are people that will take the time and effort to recollect evidence or recollect videos, photos, past conversations. You know how everything is coming out to light. And sometimes you are like, okay, what's the point of this? And sometimes you're like, oh my God, I didn't know that. But what I'm saying is that I think that when it comes to the Korean entertainment and them as entertainers, they all have to watch their back when it comes to being, not being angels or being perfect, just being mindful about how you're portraying yourself in front of others, because unfortunately they are being really pressured to do their best or to portray like a very bright and, I don't know, like perfect kind of individual that I'm not sure if that's healthy, but you know. And especially when we think about exchanging of information, you know, like I think that they even have to be careful about who they're texting and what they are talking about in those texts. And I'm not saying about Stray Kids in particular. I'm saying about like idols in general, or famous people in general, because I have seen so much things coming out to light that I don't know where these people get it, but they get it, and then, you know, hell breaks loose. So I think that definitely they are in the process of a lot of maturing and learning. And at the same time, here with the last card, that is the Strength, definitely is talking that they will come out of this situation or this atmosphere of feeling a bit despair. They are going to come out of this much more stronger than they were, like much more secure of who they are and their values and what they want for the group in the future. Because I also see them like taking actions to actually be a better version of themselves, you know, not just saying pretty words, but taking action. But at the same time, you know, if you if you find some of their actions a bit like manipulated, it's probably that it is, because I think that this is why they feel so out of control sometimes, because the company has like the claws on them, you know, and I think that yes, they can be young, they can be reckless, they can make mistakes because they're human, but at the same time I think that the company is also like they are not doing their job really well. But I think that these kids definitely have a potential to actually be a very influential group. They have a large fandom, and I think that they are going to come out with a lot of exciting material. So I think that it's going to be great for them. But at the same time, this requires them to actually be more mature, because they are going to be much more exposed. So they need to be prepared. They need to be they need to work on themselves. They need to, and also be confident, you know, and also be confident. Be confident that even though they do not know everything about life, that it's okay. That you just have to go to the flow. Don't force things. Just go with the flow and have faith in yourself. So yes, guys, this is all I have for Stray Kids and this comeback that they are going to be having soon. So I wish them the best for this new stage in their career. So guys, I will see you in the next video. And of course, if you are stay, I would like to hear your recommendations or maybe your feedback. I really appreciate it. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.